What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. I just wanted to hop on and do a quick discussion video with my good buddy Connor Nielsen here. We're going to be talking about the 4K problem. That's what I'm calling it, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But first of all, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. It's good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Good to see you. Good to talk to you again. It's been a while since you've been on the channel. Glad to have you. So yeah, this is something that you and I have been talking about offline quite a bit lately, and we've been kicking around doing a discussion video about this for quite a while, and I'm glad it's finally happening. 4K problem is a good problem to have. It's not like there's nothing wrong with the industry is actually doing great. I mean, at least in the boutique circles that we run in, but we're getting too many of them. We're getting too many 4Ks, and it's always the ones that I just bought on Blu-ray like a week ago. I don't know. It's obviously a good problem to have. We're getting a lot of really great restorations, but a lot of us are having trouble knowing which Blu-rays we should even buy at this point, because it seems like every time I turn around, a Blu-ray I just bought is getting a 4K. I know, first world problems. I'm just a whiny collector. But and everyone who's been collecting for like 20 years has been through this several times, from DVD to Blu-ray to now 4K. But I've only been and I think you too. We've only been collecting for like 10 years, Blu-ray era. So this is the first big time that we've had to upgrade everything. I don't know. I think it's not as big of a deal when it's like, yeah, of course you're going to eventually get good upgrades of like the big mainstay studio movies, but when you're collecting a specific collection like Criterion Collection or Kino, and then they keep putting out all these 4Ks, I don't know. It's something to think about, something that we're having to deal with right now, and I know you're dealing with it a little bit too. So how's it been for you navigating this little issue?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to put my condolences with that last year in Marion bad 4K that was just announced. I mean, tough break, right?
Was it really?
No, I'm just messing with you.
give me a heart attack. God, I just lost my heart just leapt right out of my chest. But yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. I mean, that did happen basically with some other of the titles that Criterion lost the rights to, like Harold and Maude got a Paramount release, and I think Nashville. I don't know if those are 4K though.
I don't think those are 4Ks. I know the Nashville, it was a 4K restoration, but I think they just put it on Blu-ray. But it was a different restoration. Like, I've seen the comparisons; they're different. And I think Harold and Maude was also just a Blu-ray. But the point still stands. I mean, there are these different editions, restorations, and I mean, I have no doubt that someday Harold and Maude and Nashville will get 4Ks. Themselves.
And it won't be in Criterion because they're not going to get the rights back. And that's
Maybe
another
not.
one. Some Like It Hot has a Criterion, but then Kino got the 4K for it.
Yeah, the United Artists titles got scooped up by Kino for the 4K. So you have Some Like It Hot. There is 12 Angry Men, Paths of Glory, The Killing, a lot of those early Kubrick movies. Killer's Kiss got a standalone 4K.
12 Angry Men hurts.
Yeah, it does. And also The Killing has a commentary track, so I'll double dip for The Killing. I love that movie too much.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's ultimately amounts to, right? It's like, where's your line? Everybody has their line of which ones they're going to double dip and which ones. Some people are full on completionists. I'm not, but I'm getting more so this way recently. I keep buying all these Criterions simply because they're out of print, it seems like. I'm turning into an insane person. Hopefully I can curb that before I go off the deep end.
Well, I guess when it comes to this discussion, where I'm kind of coming at it from is kind of more from the lucky side of things, where
we'll play good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily have the painful experience that you do, because like I see you get something and then like 2 months later it gets announced in 4K and like, oh buddy, I'm so sorry. Now
it
for
happened
me,
with Red Shoes.
Yeah.
Literally just happened last year with Wings of Desire, which I literally bought in that November sale, and then they announced it. And then literally just a couple weeks ago, it happened with Dreams, which I haven't even opened to the shrink wrap yet. And now, of course, Rules of the Game, it's coming out. Rules of the Game just came out, which maybe if I hear great things about that, I might pick it up, because I did get this from Half Price Books for only $7.99. So I didn't pay full price for that one. So that one's still a possibility. But I don't know if I'm going to upgrade the other ones that I literally just bought.
No, I get that, and you know, it's not all of like I've fallen victim to those as well. Like, I bought Branded to Kill that just got a 4K release. You and I both acquired a Time Bandits Blu-ray with a slipcover. One of us for much cheaper than the other, but the point still stands.
Mine was a gift. Mine was a gift.
um, yeah, but I guess a lot of where I'm coming from, like for example, today I just picked up Rain Man on 4K, and that was like an old Blu-ray that I got like 8 years ago for like $7. So upgrading that, fine. Um, and I'm trying to think. Like I have a lot of stuff like that. Like Kino just put, it's not on 4K, but they just put out their the Lady from Shanghai Blu-ray, which has a lot of bonus features, and I think it's a new 2K restoration. If I'm not mistaken, my Blu-ray was the Crummy Mill Creek. I am fine upgrading that. So that's kind of been mostly what I've been kind of going in for, and a lot of the things I've just gotten lucky on. Like I got the Pan's Labyrinth Criterion Blu-ray, and then I think like 2 years later, Universal put out their own 4K, like studio 4K of it, and everyone's like, "Wow, this
Mm-hmm.
4K disc sucks," and I'm like, "Great, I don't have to, have FOMO on that one."
That's
Yeah,
nice
so
too.
that's kind of been my experience.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't mean to be like the glass is half empty kind of guy. Like I said, it's a good problem to have. It's just like one of those things that's just a little frustrating when you just bought something. And I just wanted this discussion more to be about like what what would make you double dip, and you talked about that a little bit. I guess for me, it would have to be probably like one of my favorite films. Like this is like one of my favorite films, so I want to watch it in the best possible way. Um, but even so, I really, really like the Red Shoes, but I don't know if I can justify buying a 4K so soon. Maybe down the line in the future, uh, I'll come around to it. But then this is the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I know is another thing Connor and I kind of disagree on. But I wish Criterion would give me any kind of incentive at all besides just the picture quality to pick up the 4K release, because it looks exactly like this with a slightly darker cover. Same case. I'm so torn on the 4K release of the Three Colors trilogy, because you've got them releasing the exact same artwork with the exact same box set. It is slightly thicker, but it is like the exact same looking artwork. If I had the Blu-ray set, I don't. I will be picking up that 4K box set. But if I had the Blu-ray set, I don't know if I would be tempted to pick up the 4K set. I think I would be more leaning to pick up that other 4K set of the Three Colors trilogy, which I can't remember the label right now. But there's another company that put out a beautiful box set for the Three Colors trilogy that looks amazing, and it's like all new packaging. And I would be much more. And there's also like 8 short films. I put a poll out on this on the channel, and a lot of people replied and said that one is kind of the better one to go with, because there's a bunch of short films from the director on there and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. If you're going to release if the exact same thing, the exact same case, the exact same bonus features, the exact same artwork, like I don't know, give me something. Like when Eureka just put out, I just bought the Kino Lorber Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and then literally found out like a week later that Eureka was putting out that really nice deluxe box set of the 4K of Caligari. I was upset because I just bought it, but I was like, but I like that box set. I still might get that one because it looks awesome. But this is just the same thing, and I can't get super excited about it. I know the movie is the most important thing, obviously, but I just want, you want a little bit something for your $30.
Yeah, I don't know, and I guess what I kind of like about Criterion's 4K strategy is it doesn't incentivize you. It doesn't pressure you to get to upgrade. I like that. I do. Like I think like if you look at like like what their clientele is, a lot of libraries by Criterion, and I can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine like libraries like investing in 4Ks. And what I like that you are basically just kind of getting the same thing, but with a picture upgrade. And yeah, I mean, it is a little steeper It is because of like I think that's more of like a technology point as opposed to like paying for content. Like the what's the price of admission is still a little higher for 4K technology. Um, but what we do have though is something like the In the Mood for Love 4K, and I actually really respect it because that's a different color grade, a pretty controversial color grade. It has different bonus features. Like I think 80% of them are the same, but there is like one or two that are not on the older Blu-ray that are that are on the older Blu-ray that are not ported over. Then there's like two newer ones, one of which is on the color grade, and then they have different essays and they have different layouts and they have different like artwork and text. But that does sort of seem to be Criterion showing their hand that this is a fundamentally different release. Like the film, your response to the film is likely going to be dramatically different, just like kind of due to the color grade, even though the contents of the film are kind of the same. And they have kept that older Blu-ray with the older color grading. They've kept that in print, and that's awesome. Like you can just kind of tell just by looking at it which is which, and I think that's really cool. Like it's not a decision that I think uh, it doesn't like drive that like kind of internal collector competition thing. And that's I really respect that actually. And then the only kind of monkey wrench thrown into this, of course, is the rules of the game, which does have different artwork. Now, I don't own the older Blu-ray release, so I don't know if the essay is the same. I don't know if the bonus features are the same. I think the layout and artwork are different. But that's like the one that does seem different. But as far as like the Fisher King and I guess Terry Gilliam must have like has dirt on somebody because all of his movies are getting 4Ks. But they seem to be primarily the same releases, just with a picture upgrade. And so what I like about that though is I have no desire to upgrade Branded to Kill until I see Branded to Kill. Like it's sitting on my shelf. I'm not going to like not watch it and then like throw it away and then go buy the 4K. But if I watch Branded to Kill and I love it, then I will upgrade to a 4K. But if I watch it and I just kind of like it, I'm like, okay, that was fine. I'm cool with owning this, but I don't want to upgrade it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And I think that's actually very casual consumer friendly. And I think honestly, long term, that is going to be a more beneficial strategy for them.
Interesting. So we agree. It seems like we agree, but just don't want the same things. It seems like we both agree that yeah, they're not incentivizing me to pick it up. But I like collecting for collecting. I'm a collector, and I like that's part of it for me, not just the movies. Obviously, that's the most important part is the movies. And I guess I have this is probably going to be a joke for people who watch the channel. I do have more self-control, even if I don't seem like I do, to not feel the need. Like if I don't like a movie, I don't need to buy the 4K. I don't even need to keep the Blu-ray. I have no problems like getting rid of it if I don't like it. I'm not like trying to complete the Criterion collection. There's been a few Criterion movies that I haven't liked, and I haven't picked them up. I mean, speaking of Terry Gilliam, there's been a couple of films of his that I bought before I watched them, and I wasn't crazy about them. I'll probably give it another try and see. I think it was Brazil, which I liked, but I wasn't over the moon about it like a lot of people seem to be. So I probably will give it another watch just to see. Sometimes you're not in the right mood or whatever. A movie doesn't hit you right. But if I end up not liking it the second time, I probably will maybe try to sell that one before it gets an inevitable 4K. Because
no, yeah, you better do that one fast. Gilliam's got dirt, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So, and I mean, like, if I love the movie, like, I did upgrade to the 4K of Dazed and Confused, and that was a thing where
that's true.
All of this, like, the packaging is like identical. Like, they kept the digipack look, they kept all the bonus features. The booklet has all the same essays in it. But I just love that movie so much, and I'd seen that movie in LA. It was actually right after I visited you last. I went to LA and I went to a double feature at Jimmy Beverly Cinema where they were showing American Graffiti and Dazed and Confused. And Dazed and Confused was Tarantino's personal 35 millimeter print, and it was in like pristine condition, and it like looked like incredible. It was immaculate. It was gorgeous. And that 4K, a lot of people were impressed with it, and I had a hunch that they would be. It doesn't exactly seem like the kind of movie you would do a 4K upgrade for. But I'm glad they did.
Hmm.
Still didn't look as good as that 35 millimeter print though. Something about that was still like next level. But it is definitely, I think, an upgrade from the regular Blu-ray. But yeah, you were asking earlier, like what would make you upgrade? For me, it is how much do I love the movie? Am I cool double dipping? Like if it's Citizen Kane, sure. I don't care how many editions of that movie I own. Like I will buy, whatever. Although that
Hmm.
Criterion edition is like about as definitive as you can get. And I don't know, like with The Killing, I will double dip for that. For In the Mood for Love, for the sake of kind of the history, I'll double dip and keep both for that,
Hmm.
because I want to have access to both. Um, the other thing about double dipping for 4K, now this is admittedly silly and doesn't have any logic to it. If I bought the movie like 6 years ago, it's like, well, that $15 was 6 years ago. I still haven't even
Yeah.
really seen the movie. Do I want to upgrade? Why not?
Well, and I have kind of a similar thing with that with the movies I just upgraded to. Like, do I think I need a 4K version of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves? Probably not. It's a goofy movie, but it's a nice deluxe limited edition box set from Arrow versus a skinny little jewel case that I paid like $8 for at a Black Friday like a million years ago. Like it's I don't know. It's just so that's why the packaging comes in for me. It's like it's nice to just have a over on my boutique shelf next to my Arrow stuff instead of it just getting lost in the sea of
I
beige
agree.
Blu-rays back here.
I agree. Yeah,
So
I mean that was kind of with Rain Man. My thing is like it was like when I got that, it was like one of those old jewel cases where like the plastic wrap is like kind of wrinkled up a little bit and like the art card is sort of like smushed in. Like it's kind of nice to have like the slip cover. It's new. It's not like shrunk wrap by the heat. Like it's kind of nice.
yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing with Waterworld when that comes out. It's this month. It comes out June. That's why I sent you my old Waterworld because I'm gonna pick up that 4K because I feel like it's paying respects to the film a little bit better if you get like a nice boutique version.
I
That's
agree.
I don't know.
I do
Then,
agree. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Part of it is the hunt and the collectability for me. I do kind of wish Criterion was incentivizing it a little bit, but there's so many other labels that are doing it. It's not a huge deal for me. I don't think I've double dipped any of my Criterions yet. I've only been collecting for a couple years. I have to look at my shelf and see, but I don't think I have yet. So it won't be the end of the world if I do. If one does come out that I like, if Guillermo del Toro gets a 4K or something, or Cebu, that long awaited
Oh,
Cebu release in the 4K. Yeah, no, if they're never gonna, they don't even have Blu-rays. The Eclipse stuff is never gonna get 4Ks. But no, maybe it won't be too long before the right one comes along and makes me do it. But yeah, I think for the most part, I'm okay with the Blu-rays. I've got the theater downstairs with the 120-inch screen and the 4K projector, which up and I got the player that I got that upscales really nicely, even the Blu-rays. So it
wow.
looks pretty good. So I don't. I mean, I'm sure I would notice if I popped a 4K. Like I think I popped in a couple 4Ks when I first got it. Like 1917 looked really really good
Wow.
on it, but I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. So yeah, I mostly am in it just for the collectability of it. But I know a lot of people are much more into the tech side than I am, and even you. You're a filmmaker yourself, and you notice that stuff a little bit more.
I guess so. Like I'm not as like I don't know. I think maybe my eye has sort of attuned a little bit. Like I'm good at detecting film stock, but if it's something that's like, or if it's film or if it's digital. But that being said, sometimes when people make stuff digitally, they try to make it look like film, and sometimes they're really good at it, and I can't tell the difference. But most of
Yeah.
the time, if it's a Netflix production, like they're not even hiding that it's like the most flat digital thing you've ever seen in your life. But that's not me dogging on digital. Steven Soderbergh and like the Wachowskis make digital look really, really, really good. Um, but I don't know. One thing I wanted to mention about the Criterion release strategies, I'd be very curious to interview somebody there because I remember when they first said they were getting into 4K, they had said that we're doing like they had like a release and it had like a certain amount of like promises where I remember one of them was like deluxe packaging was one of them, and it was
Oh, interesting.
um like and I remember like that first line of 4Ks they had, it was Citizen Kane, it was Menace, no, Menace to Society, right? I think that's
Hmm.
what it's called. I keep thinking Boys to
Yeah.
Men, but that's not a movie. I think it's Menace to Society. And there was one other. I think it was. It wasn't
Adam
Computer.
Sandler.
I can't.
Was his not?
Oh, Uncut Gems. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, Uncut Gems.
And like those three all had like digipacks, and like Menace to Society has like a really cool like
That's
digipack
true. They
with a
shouldn't have
cutout.
started like that if they weren't going to stick with it.
But I think what happened was the intention was, now I this is speculation on my part. I don't know how much of this has been confirmed or not. If anyone knows, please inform me. That sounded
Yeah.
sarcastic. I mean, I meant that sincerely. But there was like a
No, yeah, there's a lot of people in the comments that know a lot about Criterion. So
yeah. No, I think the intention was they're probably only going to do like 7 4Ks a year, and then like the demand was we want more, and so I think
mm,
they then said, okay, we will reach into the catalog, we will upscale stuff, but we're going to sacrifice some of the more luxury of what we had intended initially for their 4K line.
that's a good theory. That's
And
a good theory.
I think that's
I would
why
love
you
to know.
don't get. I think that's why you don't get the you don't get new art. You only get a 4K upscale basically, because it's like if you like for
Hmm.
like over a decade you have new 4K restoration, new 4K restoration, new 4K restoration, like all over their thing, but it's a Blu-ray.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's maybe what's going on. But then every once in a while you do see like a 4K release that is like kind of extra. It's really nice. Like that the Renowned Westerns, like I've never heard of any of those. That looks really friggin' cool.
It does
I
look
want it.
cool.
I want it. It sounds right up my alley.
So
Yeah.
you just brought up a whole aspect of this conversation that we haven't even talked about, which is another reason that I'm kind of down on 4Ks, and I've heard some people be down on Criterion's strategy with the 4Ks because they've added so many. You're getting like one or two a month, and you're usually getting one that's just an upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
at least a month now, which is taking away from a possible new movie in the collection that I haven't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole nother thing. Even if I don't feel tempted to buy that to upgrade to that 4K, it's still taking a slot away from something that could have been discovered or that could have been showed to me, and instead it's just another one of their big tentpole movies that everybody already knows. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, I think where I kind of come down on that is like Criterion was out of the 4K game for a while, and I think like the discussion we're having right now was like maybe one of the reasons they didn't get in for so long. Like maybe that is why. And so it is one of those things where if it's like a opportunity cost. Like if you do have 4K and you want to and you want more 4Ks from Criterion, like they got a huge catalog that people are probably demanding for, and so you will get 4K restorations of their very popular stuff. Like you're gonna get The Seventh Seal. I don't think any of Ingmar Bergman's other films will. Sorry, this is a side tangent. I don't think I'm going to get well, I might. The 4K of Seventh Seal. Like, I don't think you should get it because you have Ingmar Bergman cinema, and the disc of The Seventh Seal is the 4K restoration on a Blu-ray disc, which is like better than the old Blu-ray. But I think upgrading to the 4K is not, you're not going to see like hardly any difference between the two, because that's the other thing that Criterion Blu-rays have. It's what's kind of been kind of a point of praise for them is that the 4K restorations on Blu-ray disc look amazing. And when you have people comparing the likes of Some Like It Hot from the Criterion Blu-ray to the Kino 4K, they say, yeah, like it looks, that old Blu-ray still looks really good. Like it's not that much of an increase. And so kind of the sell there is Kino did invest in, I think, I don't own that 4K, but I think they invested in more like bonus features and stuff. The reason I'm going to go seek out The Killing is because it's The
Is
Killing,
because
and
that
also
commentary.
it has a commentary. Yeah.
So they're kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't. So I mean, wherever the demand is, that's what they're going to do. If the demand kind of dries up for the 4K, then they'll just kind of, if more people want, undiscovered classics, then they'll do that. They're going to do whatever sells. I mean, I can whine all day, but I mean, if people are buying all the 4Ks off the shelf, they're going to keep doing that.
The other thing though is, that like August and December and January, like those months are like, August is right after that July sale. They always put out like really obscure stuff. And, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you'll see comments saying Criterion is dead. Criterion's a joke. I've never heard of any of these. And then like, none of them are on 4K because they just announced 6 4Ks in July. And they're like, wow, Criterion's such a has-been. They had no 4Ks this month. And they like,
I'm not one of those people.
I know you're not. But and the same thing in December.
Those people are goofy.
And the same thing in December, because surprise, there's maybe a strategy to how they decide to put these out. Usually October and November you can expect bigger titles. Maybe it's because there's a massive sale happening at an affiliate. That's just a theory of mine. I don't know, but what do I know?
We'll see how long that affiliate stays there, man. I'm not like a doomsayer or anything, but like I'm just bummed out by all my Barnes and Noble like shrinking all their Criterion sections. I'm worried about it, but maybe it's just in my town. Your Barnes and Noble's insane. I'm always jealous of your Barnes and Nobles.
You should come on up. But you should look at them.
I should. I'll have to sneak up there in July or November and check out yours. But I'll probably be buying mostly online from now on. But yeah, no, we still got some in our Barnes & Noble, but it's kind of been reduced to one small shelf and some new releases, which is a bummer. But
I'm glad I got to see it when in its heyday, right? Before
in its heyday. Yeah, you got to dance all over the whole section.
Good times.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the Criterion Adventures when he was here, because those videos were a lot of fun. And hopefully we can do it again sometime, eventually, someday. But that's pretty much our thoughts, right? I think we covered it. I think we I was kind of the glass half empty in this video. You were kind of the glass half full, but we both have, both hit both sides a little bit.
It's just going to take 2 or 3 announcements of movies I just bought to put me on your side of the aisle, I think.
Yeah, you'll jump over the fence. Yeah. I mean, it all depends. I've talked to some people in the comments. I think when I did my announcement video, when Criterion announced their last month, I was talking to some guys in the chat who are like, there's one guy who watches all the videos that is Criterion Complete. He owns the whole thing. And I was like, are you going to upgrade to that one? And he was like, probably not. I've already got it, all the spine numbers. So I don't know. He's not one, but I know there are a lot of people that do like to upgrade. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. Do you consider this to be a problem? Do you consider this to be a good thing? Are you somewhere in the middle, kind of like both of us? Would you like Criterion to spice it up a little bit, or do you like the fact that they keep the packaging the same? Just tell us your thoughts. Have you been burned as many times as I have, seemingly in the last 6 months? I don't know. I still love it. I still love collecting. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Connor and I will both read those, and we'll chat with you guys down there. Thank you, sir, for coming back onto the program. Had a good time chatting with you about this little fun topic.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime we want to whine about first world collecting problems, I'm always down, because it's always a good time. Until next time, keep collecting, and I will see you again with more physical media collecting content very soon.